My name is Julio. I'm from Brazil. It's my first time participating in this conference. I will talking about the habitability on Mars research stations and laboratories applied to climate change and droughts. The question of my research is about how the technologies and outcomes applied to Mars research stations would be transferred to areas affected by drought. I am examining two experiences as Mars Desert Research Station and the Mars Habitat in Rio Grande do Norte State in Brazil. We considered 10 topics to compare these two research stations and related with sustainability in terms of economic, social, and environmental sustainability. Here we have the map of the two experiences, the MDRS in Utah and the Mars Habitat in the eastern place in Americas, in the state of Rio Grande do Norte. About the Mars Desert Desert Research Station, some information about is located in San Rafael Soil, is managed by Mars Society. The area presents a lot of similarities with Mars. And here we have the map based in Google Maps, where it's located. And then some photos about what they are doing there. And here we have a plan about the facilities of the MDRS, how is the configuration, and something that I never visit the MDRS, but I was trying to collect some information in the internet and also with some partners here during the event. And something very interesting that I identified is the organizational structure, because they have a lot of definition of what each person of the crew is doing and their responsibilities. And also the website presents also a lot of information and also describing the results of each mission. And in this case, I would like to present this because they are providing a lot of open sources of information. And now we will be presenting the experience in Brazil. This experience is in a very early stage. Here we have the map of South America, and sometimes when I talking about Brazil, the people is all have the imaginary about the rainforest, the Amazon, but the Amazon we have like a ecosystem like this, determined like this area. But when we look more close to the environmental systems in Brazil, we have like this. We have the Amazon rainforest, but we have a region like savanna. It's called Cerrado. And we have also this yellow region is well known as Caatinga, and also the semi-arid. There's a very dry semi-arid in Brazil. In this case, our experience is based in this area that we are suffering like 6 years of a great drought there. Now we have more maps here, and the place that we are planning to start the operation is the city of Caiçara do Rio do Vento. This is the information of today. It's not raining there, and this is the temperature today in the Caiçara do Rio do Vento. Here we have some information about the weather during the all year. In this case, we have the average between 86 Fahrenheit and 68 Fahrenheit. Also, and if you have all the pluviometric data, we have less than 500 millimeters by year. In this case, we have a very low rates of rain in this area, very dry. And this is very similar in many places in this area of the Rio Grande. In this case, we have here the maximum around 30 centigrados, and also 87 Fahrenheit, 86. Okay, and this is one of images of the landscape. It's dry, but when rains, we have a very vegetation that respond very quickly to the rain. And then we started an operation called Nucleus of Research in Engineering, Science, Sustainability of Semi-Arid. Okay, and this experience is based in a farm, and one of the experiences that we are doing there, it's the use of waste to redesign the rural place, and also doing some activities related with green construction to build a better place. And some practical actions that we developed there was a house with plastic bottles, and also with glass bottles, and artificial reservoirs, and creation of some tourist attractiveness, technical visits, workshops and trainings, and combat of erosions with tires. And here we have some pictures of some activities that were developed there related with sustainability. Was built a house it's like 40 meters square, using the plastic bottles. We can see the plastic bottle here inside the wall. And here we have the result. And this house was, in terms of dollars, like $6,000, the investment to build the house with two rooms. And then another experience developed there was related with a house with long neck bottles, Heineken bottles, and yes, a lot of bottles, yes. And we have some partnership to produce the empty bottles too. And here we have one of our students, Luis. He finished his course in engineering. I'm professor of industrial engineering, and they finish with this project of to build a house. Here there's some students that visit the countryside to participate in the construction of the house. And here one more step, and this was the last step of the process of construction. And last month in August, we received students from the capital, because it's like 100 kilometers, 6 miles from the capital of Rio Grande do Norte state, the city of Natal, to visit this rural area. And here we have some photos. There we have a kind of auditorium, and this was related with green construction, this training, this workshop. And then after they visit the rural area, here's the water reservoir. We did a lot of things using the proof tests of concrete around this place. And here we have some photos of the visit that was done there. Also the use of tires. This is an example of a square that we spent like $60 to build a square in this area, and using a lot of different materials. Then this was what is being done until this day, and then we are thinking to a next step, and also we are building a small museum there, showing how would be done to stimulate the sustainability. Then one next step that we are thinking about to do that is the creation of this research station about Mars. This is an image of the landscape in this area. And then, okay, there we have a very beautiful view of the Milky Way, and also we have also a lot of problems related with the heat, because of the heat we have droughts, we have also vulnerability. In this case, the idea of the Mars habitat is develop some activities there. We are the Mars habitat we based in this area, and they have the participation of the Federal University, and some objectives of the initiative is be a place to develop technologies that would be operating Mars and also in dry areas, and also develop technologies related with water supply, food, shelter, and clothing, and also identify worldwide technologies that would be applied and receive collaboration of our university researchers, identify possible outcomes and technologies developed in the Mars Research Station that would be transferred to areas affected by climate change, establish partnership with worldwide space research groups, be an educative place in terms of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, be a place to encourage combination skills, creative thinking, something like this, and also collaborate with local community, be an organization to support new Mars research station, and the last objective, be an active player in the discussion about sustainable development goals. In this case, presented the two experiences that we are talking about. These two experiences, the Mars Desert Research Station and the Mars Habitat, we compared these two experiences in terms of 10 topics. Technologies related with water supply, food supply, energy technologies, habitat technologies, clothing, organizational innovation, social and educational technologies, personal sustainability, ITs, and waste and recycling programs. Then some results. Something very important that we are when I'm talking about Mars research stations is conceived the Mars research stations as a closed system. And then something important is considered about the reuse of the water sinks. Okay, is one of the activities that would be developed, and the treatment and reuse of the water. In this case, in Mars, the water will be used endlessly, will be endlessly recycled. In Mars Desert Research Station, not was identified the technology provided to water and sewage treatment. We don't found information about how if they are treating the water and reusing the water. In this case, in the conception of the Mars habitat, we are trying to develop a system of recycling, treatment the water and the sewage. And also there is a substance called gamazine DPC. The substance is used in the ships, and they use it is an organic treatment. It's a biological treatment of the sewage. Okay, and then we consider to use this chemical. Related with technology with food supply, we in the website of International Station, we can see a lot of different activities of research based in plants and crops in microgravity that they are developing, and it's shared. And something important with this. This is an image of the Mars Desert Research Station, and also is a lot of things is talking about the use of LED lights in closed systems too. Then in the enclosed systems, in greenhouses, the use of the LED lights will be a more controlled spaces about the production of new food. Okay, there was some research about new crops and agriculture technologies will permit the increase of productivity of the systems. And nowadays, in the Mars habitats, we are in the very early stage. We don't have any activities of agriculture being developed there, but we'll be considering creating a greenhouse to like an experiment. Related with energy, in this case, the Mars Desert Research Station, they use the diesel generator, but they are changing, substituting by also solar panels, and this will also be considering in the Mars Desert Mars habitat. About the eco design of the habitats, we have the plant of the Mars Desert Research Station, and in the case of the Mars habitat, we are in the very early stage, how I said, and defining how will be the division of the areas, something like this, will be a place to receive like 10 persons during each mission. And some aspects that we are considering is related with use of natural light, use of materials related with climate comfort, use of recycled materials when possible, use of equipment, multi-purpose, present educative areas and propose educative too, use of low energy consumption equipment, contemplate recycled water systems, collect rainwater, use of solar energy supply, and management and recycling of the waste. These are some considerations. And here about the clothing, we have a photo of the MDRS, and they have some technologies about the spacesuits. And here we have an image of gibão. It's a kind of cloth used by the cowboys of Brazil. Here we have, it's a very old tradition, the use of this kind of cloth. Here we have the traditional cowboy of Brazil, the vaqueiro. And you can see in this image in the semi-arid region, he is running between the branches. And then this protects, is a kind of protection. It also is made of leather, and this permits the humidity inside the cloth too. And then in our research, we'll be considering this old solution that be used like 200 years, 300 years, and how we'll be doing a vest more modern with new technologies, but observing this old solution, this traditional solution. Here we have also a modern, innovative vest that I saw in the internet. And some challenges is related with radiation protection, provides oxygen in closed systems, and also safety. In this case, the sixth aspect about the organizational innovation, we consider the organizational structure of the MDRS very interesting, and the Mars habitat will be very inspired in the definition of these positions of Mars Desert Research Station. In terms of social and educational technologies, it's very interesting, this aspect. We can see like this kind of space like a organization to provide education in terms of science and technology, okay? And we consider that also it's important, presents educational popular science programs to communities, schools, and universities, and also have a social technology transfer program related with monitoring technologies that can be open source, that could be shared in a unrestricted way to society. And in this case would be very interesting results of this kind of organization. Here we have the photos of the two students yesterday. They presented, I believe the girl is from Costa Rica, and Marcos is from Argentina, and they were participants of one of the missions of the MDRS. And yesterday they were presenting the experience in MDRS, and I believe it's very interesting the practice of MDRS, because they are sharing knowledge and science and motivating students around the world to be engaged with the science and technology, and this is very important. In this case, in the Mars habitat, we are committed to be an educative place to educate the students where they might be able to discover new findings, how I present. And then about a topic that I believe is new to thinking about is in terms of personal sustainability. It's related to think policies in order to provide the routines to permit participants experience high states of consciousness. How this would be, we are considering how the people would have the personal resilience strategies, good mental condition maintenance, self-development of meditation techniques and concentration attention, self-development of techniques to good sleep, pay attention to body conditions, attention to motivation and other aspects. And also, we also consider aspects related with technologies of information and communication, seeing that the ITs is important to control like systems like quality of oxygen level, humidity of air, energy consumptions, levels of water, status of the sewage treatment. We consider very important the ITs to this kind of operation. And the last aspect that we saw is related with the waste and recycling program. In this case, we are thinking about how the Mars Space Station would be committed with reduce, reuse, recover the material and dispose. And I believe this is a very important next steps to Mars Desert Research Stations. To finish, our contribution is the main challenges. How would be applied these results to the areas affected by climate change and also the Mars research stations? It's considered very important 4 elements, okay? The water, the food, the housing, and also the money, okay? And yes, and we can see in terms of food, all in the laboratories, Mars laboratories, is very important thinking about the food, and also in the environments of the areas affected by drought. Also the collect of water, and also thinking about the housing, how the houses would be more climate effective. And in terms of economics, it's important funding in research stations and economic sustainability in areas affected. Then we have of the last contributions about the economic sustainability in terms of Mars research stations, management of the initiative, organizational structure, scientific and technological research with potential to impact in the society, merchandise, store, products, membership, donations, volunteering, partnership with the government. In the areas affected by droughts, we consider some activities like ecotourism, tourism of adventure, handicraft, cultural events, gastronomy, and services-based information technology. Then we are preparing a document that we are calling Mars and Research Station Sustainability. We are presenting 30 indicators that the Mars Desert Research Station would be considered to be more sustainable, okay? This is my contacts, my Facebook, Twitter, and my email. Thanks so much for the attention, and thanks so much. Mm-hmm.